pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. So you wrote this book. How'd you get the idea to write a book about your experience?
Um, I learned it from Cameron Goes to School, and I learned I want to write a book too.
Now, Cameron Brundage, and I'm going to carry that over to you, Shaletta. You've written books. Cameron Goes to School is one of yours. Talk about the process, because
Shaletta don't
this
see any and I'm
is
trying to
obviously
record
a
it.
trauma. You're dealing with a child. The sessions to write this book.
It was a labor of love, I have to tell you. You know, and this is why representation is so important in children's literature. Judea had an amazing story to tell. Here this little girl is on the right block at the wrong time, and she witnesses something as tragic and historic as George Floyd's death. And she's with her mother, and she's wondering, how can I tell my story? And she remembers that she has a copy of my children's book with my little daughter on the cover. Not a historical figure like Rosa Parks or Martin Luther King, but just a little black girl telling her story about having autism and being nonverbal. And she looks like Judea, curly little hair, brown skin, and Judea thinks if she can tell her story, so can I.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I read the book. Again, it's a children's book, so it's not a long read, but the center of this is a man's murder. So, yes. Shaletta, I imagine you have to be careful here, but not talk around it.
You know, it was so important for us not to show the violence, not to show Mr. Floyd in that final moment, not to give any credence to Mr. Chauvin, but also to tell Judea's authentic story. And listen, I've got 4 kids. 3 of them have autism. So, you know, they were nonverbal for a very long time. And I've experienced play therapy with my children to get them to communicate in ways that they wouldn't typically otherwise, like normal developing kids. So Judea and I did a lot of play therapy. We did a lot of talking back and forth through dolls and interaction with games. And, you know, her family trusts me. Her mother and father trust me. And so she trusts me to be able to tell her story in a way that would resonate with other children. This is about kids coping with trauma. And as you know, you work in news. There's so much going on right now with school shootings and everything else. We cannot not talk to our children about it. And so one of the things that I'm most proud of is at the end of A Walk to the Store is a resource page that was put together by Anissa Keys with Aruba Emotional Health. And it's 10 tips for parents and their children to talk about traumatic events.
Judea, what do you want people to, or kids especially, to learn from this book?
I want them to be brave in life and don't be shy and scared. Don't be scared of anything.
Yeah, it starts with you being too little to walk to the store by yourself, but at the end you realize how much, even at a young age, how much impact you can have. And let me shout out the illustrator too, because this depiction of you on the front looks just the way you did that day. A fantastic depiction there. Judea Reynolds and Shaletta Brundage, thank you so much. The book is A Walk to the Store. The youngest witness there writes a book about her experience in dealing with childhood trauma after the killing of George Floyd. Thank you both.
Thank you so much. And that illustrator is Darcy Bell Myers.
All right. Thank you.
So great. So glad you had them on. A pilot and a